alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, we will be starting our dars soon. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So I will start the dars now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Inshallah, from today we will start or continue from the series of dars, durus, which I was giving before the advent of the month of Ramadan, before the coming of the month of Ramadan. If you remember, we first discussed Surah Al-Fatiha, and now we were discussing Surah Al-Baqra, but I stopped giving that series of dars so that we can have a topic by topic dars during the month of Ramadan. And now inshallah we will continue with our dars of TAFSEER Kabir, meaning the grand commentary of the Holy Quran written by Sayyidina Muslih Maud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. So I think many people may be not aware of the fact that we are starting it again today. So today I will just keep it short so that we can share it with more of our jamaats, and then more people can join us tomorrow and then the consecutive days. It will be at 5:10 a.m. right after the Fajr Salat in the Philippines. So 5:10 a.m. every day, inshallah, we will continue our durus. I have just recited verse number 3 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Ta'ala says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is a perfect book. There is no doubt in it. It is a guidance for the righteous. So if you don't remember the discussion that we have had so far, you can go back to the previous durus and you can listen to them. This is the 12th dars in our series on Surah Al-Baqarah. We have discussed what is the meaning of huruf muqatta'at, meaning the broken words like alif lam mim. So we went into detail about huruf muqatta'at and we learned about huruf muqatta'at. And then in the last dars, which I presented before Ramadan, I discussed the halya lughat, or the meaning of the difficult words of the third verse of the Holy Quran, that is ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. I went into a lot more detail in the previous durus, but just as a reminder, I will present to you the points, very basic points from 5-volume commentary summary of Tafsir Kabir. If you want a more detailed discussion, you can go and listen to those durus again. So we had mentioned that dhalika is ism ishara ba'id in Arabic. So ism ishara ba'id means a noun which is used to point at something which is far away. The other one is called ism ishara qareeb, meaning to point at something which is close to us. So here Allah Ta'ala did not say hadha al-kitabu, Allah Ta'ala says dhalika al-kitabu, that this is the book. We translate it as this is the book, but the literal translation of dhalika is not this, it is that, meaning pointing at something which is far away. So like I said, the word is primarily used in the sense of that, but it is sometimes also used in the sense of this, meaning to point at something which is close, which is not too far. So here in this particular example, it is used to point at something which is close in front of us, that is the Holy Quran, meaning Holy Quran is in front of us. Holy Quran, you can go back to my previous durus and I have discussed this in much more detail, that there are many things we can learn from the usage of zalika instead of using hadha. So the fact that Allah Ta'ala has used zalika, that is the book, to point at the book which is right in front of you. So when a person reads the Holy Quran, he has the book in his hand, and he is reading Zalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fi. That is the book. So it's not talking about some other book. It is actually talking about the Holy Quran which is in his hand. But the reason Allah has used Zalika instead of Hada is because, number one, Zalika in certain sense can be used as an alternative for Hada. Secondly, it is used to point at to highlight the eminence or the loftiness of something. Meaning, the reason Allah Ta'ala has used Zalika instead of Haza is to explain that this book is no ordinary book. So when you talk to someone who is very much respected, sometimes you talk to them in third person instead of second person. So instead of calling you, in different languages, there are different ways to talk to someone when you want to show respect. So one of the ways we can show the high status or the loftiness or the eminence or the great status of the Holy Quran is by using Zalika instead of Haza. Similarly, another reason Zalika could be used, that it is that book which is in your minds. So this is the book which is in your mind. So it is pointing at something which is far away. Again, the discussion in detail is in previous durus. Al-Kitab. Al-Kitab means the book. So the definite article Alif Lam is like similar to the definite article in the English language, the. So this is the book, and it is used to denote a definite object which is known to the person. And it is in this sense, the word Zalikal Kitab would mean that this is the book or this is that book. And the article Alif Lam is also used to denote a species in its totality or the properties of an individual in their property. If you remember my previous durus, we talked about Alif Lam Jinsi and Alif Lam Haqiqi and Alif Lam Majazi. So there were different things we talked about. Summary of that is that sometimes when we say Al-Kitab, it means that the perfect qualities of what can be called a kitab is only found in this kitab. So for example, in Arabic language, they say Zaidun al-Rajulu, that Zaid is the man. In English, we also say, I see Kobe's picture. Muhammad Sadiq probably has Kobe's picture. So they say Kobe is the man. So what you're trying to say is that everyone has in their mind what they want to say. And what that means is that what are the qualities of that particular thing. When we say Zaidun al-Rajulu, that he is the man, meaning the perfect qualities of a perfect man which could be thought of are found in Zaid. Similarly, when we say Zalikal Kitab, meaning the perfect book that can be imagined, all of the different meanings of kitab that could apply to a book can only be found in in their perfect sense only in the Holy Quran. Okay. Then the word Raib means doubt. It is derived from the word Rabahu. There were different meanings we discussed. One of the meaning of Raib we discussed was uneasiness, that you're not so sure about something, your mind is not clear about something. So we call that Raib. Another meaning of Raib is doubt. That's something that puts you in doubt. You're doubtful about that, whether it is correct or not. That is also called Raib. Third meaning of Raib we had discussed earlier was any affliction or calamity, meaning any trouble, any problem that happens to you, also called Raib. And number 4, evil opinion, false charge, calumny, meaning to raise an allegation upon someone, is also called Raib. So, Zalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fi would mean that this is the perfect book. It does not cause any uneasiness in the mind. Another meaning would be this is the perfect book. It does not have any doubt, meaning whatever is mentioned in this book, it is sure, it is perfect, there is no doubt in that. Number 3, Zalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fi, that this is the book, that if you follow this book will never lead you to any affliction, any calamity, any trouble. So meaning sometimes people would say, oh, if I become a Muslim, many calamities will befall me, I will have many problems, etc., etc. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, if you follow this book, it will not lead you to trouble, it will not lead you to destruction, it will lead you to peace and security. Number 4, false charge, calumny, to allegation. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, that there are no false charges in this perfect book. So sometimes when a book is written as an answer or as a response or in competition to other books, then many allegations are raised on that other author or on that other book. So Holy Quran is saying ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, that there are no unfounded claims, there are no unfounded allegations on the other prophets, other books, etc. in the Holy Quran. Okay. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Hudan, we have discussed Huda in detail at the time of Surah Fatiha also, but very quickly, Huda is masdar. It is the infinitive tense of Hidayah or Huda, has the same meaning. In English, we translate it as guidance. If you remember the rules about Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, we discussed that Ihdina simply has three meanings. Number one, to point to the right way. So Hidayah means pointing to the guidance. So pointing to the, if I ask a person, can you please guide me how I can go from Zamboanga to Pagadian? So a person can either point to me the direction that you should first go to this place, then you take coastal, etc., etc., and then you can read that place. If someone says, how can I go from Paranaque to Quezon City? Someone can say, you should go, you can take the service road to the EDSA, etc., etc., and then you can take EDSA. Someone can give you all the directions, meaning they can point you to it. Second way to guide someone is you can lead them to their highway. That this is, you say, okay, come with me. They take you to EDSA. Okay, you follow EDSA straight. This will take you to Quezon City. Third meaning is that you tell that person that, okay, I'm also going to Quezon City. You can follow me. And you keep on driving and that person follows you to their direction. So Huda or Hidayah has all of these meaning. Meaning the Holy Quran is a guidance for the muttaqeen, meaning it points out the direction to reach Allah for the righteous people. Number two, it leads you to the path which leads to Allah. And number three, it leads you to the destination. Meaning by following the guidance which is found in the Holy Quran, you will know what Allah is, you will know how to reach Allah, and then finally it will take you to Allah, it will take you to paradise, it will take you to Jannah. All of these meaning apply. Muttaqeen, Hudal lil Muttaqeen. We discussed also Muttaqeen in detail. The Muttaqeen is derived from the word, the root is Waw, Qaf, Ya, Waqiya, and it is Bab, it has changed its form to Ittaqa. Okay, so they say Waqahu, meaning he guarded or shielded himself or herself against evil. Hence, Ittaqa means to be on guard or to protect yourself against something. So Ittaqa bihi means he took it or him as a wiqaya. Meaning when we say Ittaqa bihi, that I took whatever the pronoun of he or who refers to, I took it as a shield. So when we say have taqwa of Allah, a lot of time it is mistranslated as fear of Allah. But rather what it means is that make Allah your shield. Protect yourself from sin, protect yourself from difficulties by making Allah your shield. Okay? In religious language, the word means to guard oneself against sin or harmful things, or to take Allah as a shield for protection against sin. It is wrong, therefore, to translate the word as fear, unless it is for a want of a better word. That we translate taqwa or ittaqullah, fear Allah, because we cannot find a better word. Because sometimes the fear of Allah acts as a shield against sin. But that is not the literal meaning of taqwa. Literal meaning of taqwa is to make Allah your shield. Not only His fear, but most importantly His love. That you protect yourself from sin because you do not want to lose the love of Allah. So again, ittaqa or taqwa does not mean fear of Allah. Rather, it means to protect oneself to make Allah a shield to protect oneself from sins, from harmful things, etc. Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b, we have discussed this also. Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was asked that what is the meaning of taqwa. And Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu replied that taqwa means that imagine that you are walking on a very thorny bush, thorny, bushy, muddy area, and you are wearing long clothes. You do not want your clothes to become dirty. So you will be very careful that your clothes, they do not touch the muddy, the mud does not splash and make your clothes dirty. Also, there's so many shrubs and bushes. You do not want your clothes to become entangled in the bush and become ripped. So you will be very careful. So Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said that this world, dunya that we live in, is like a very narrow, very difficult, thorny path that all of us have to pass through. Taqwa means that a person is careful walking through this very difficult path. So that is one meaning of taqwa given by Sayyidina Ubay bin Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Muslim Maud quotes an Arab poet by the name of Ibn al-Mu'taz, and he has his Arabic poetry has quotes that خَلَدْ ذُنُوبَ صَغِيرُهَا وَكَبِيرُهَا صغيرها وكبيرها ذاك التقى واسنى كماش فوق أرض الشوك يهذر ما يرى لا تحقرن صغيرة إن الجبال من الحصى. That leave away, do not follow or avoid all sins whether they are small or big. خَلَدْ ذُنُوبَ صَغِيرَهَا وَكَبِيرَهَا. That leave all sorts of sin. Do not think that this sin is small, I can do, okay, no problem, I will not be in trouble, I can still go to paradise. Every sin you should let go of. That is the meaning. Zakat tuqa, that is the meaning of taqwa. Wasna kamashin fawqa ardi shawki yahduru ma yara. Become like the person who is walking on a path which is full of thorns, which is full of bushes, which may rip your clothes off. Yahduru ma yara. Such a person is very careful and he's very watchful where he's putting his foot, where he's stepping. So become like that person, that who is very careful about walking on a muddy, bushy path. La tahqaranna sagiratan innal jibala min al hasa. That do not become like, do not think lightly of small sins. Some people, they say, oh, this is a very small sin. I remember in the during Ramadan, I mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu in my dars about ghibat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he was shown Adhabul Qabr, and he said that these people, they are being punished, or the people in this grave are being punished for two very small sins. Not that any sin is small or big, but rather some sins are very small to quit, or some sins are considered small by those who do them. So la tahqaranna saghiratan, do not consider any sin to be small. And what were those sins? One was protecting your tongue, ghibat, and number two was that they were not watchful when they used the washroom to urinate. Meaning sometimes they would urinate while standing, or even if they did it while sitting, they would not do istanja, they will not clean themselves afterwards. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that these are, people consider them to be very small sins. Oh, it's okay, I can stand up and pee. Oh, it's okay if I do not do my wuzu properly, etc., etc. So, la tahqaranna saghiratan, do not consider any sin to be small. Innal jibala minal hasa. That big mountains are actually made up of very small pebbles, very small rocks. That even the biggest mountain is made up of pebbles and rocks. So, if you keep on doing small sins, it will lead you to bigger sins, and you will not be considered muttaqi. So these are the things we have already discussed. This was a quick summary of our discussion on Zalika al-Kitabu la rayba fi hudal lil muttaqin so far. Inshallah, from tomorrow's dars, now that we have a refresher, I will continue I will start the commentary or the tafsir of the verse in the light of Tafseer Kabir, in the light of the tafsir written by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Again, the timing will be the same. Mukhlis Sahib, our National Secretary Ta'aleem and Tarbiyat, you can, I think he has already informed all the presidents. So the presidents can now inform their branches, inshallah. 5:10 a.m. right after Fajr Salat, we will have our durus. Inshallah, there will be 15 to 20 minutes after Fajr. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallim innaka hamidun majid. Jazakumullahu ta'ala. Ahsanul jaza. Assalamu alaikum.